Hello everyone. So let's move on to day 3 lesson. So we are on our next lesson, which is converting decimals into fractions. So we're going to be converting repeating decimals. Let's just say repeating decimals to fractions. So basically it's just undoing the first lesson. So first we did fractions into decimal, now decimal to fraction. Okay, so basically the way it's set it up in your packet is like you have two different assignments, assignment A, assignment B. So I'm just gonna split up my lesson like that. So I'm gonna show you how to do part A first, and then we'll move on to part B. So let's talk about part A in your packet. How do we do that? So first thing is, let's say the decimal I have is 0.5555, and so on. So it's a repeating decimal. 5 is keep on repeating for this decimal. First thing I want you to do is you need to set this equal to x, because we are learning about how to make this decimal into a fraction. So I'm just going to say this decimal is equal to x fraction. I don't know what fraction, so I'm just going to say it's some x fraction. So I just set them equal to each other because this x fraction is same value as 0.55555, right? So x is missing, so I'm just going to keep it as variable. Okay, then next step. So you need to look at the decimal. Look at the decimal side. So look at the place value when it starts repeating. What's the place value? I see 55555. Basically, it's just the 10th place number that's keep repeating. So once you figure out its place value, so it's the 10th place. And after this 10th place, it starts over. So it means once you have the 10th place, or once you figure out the place value of that number that repeats, next step is just multiply both sides by that 10. So since it's the 10th place value, so I would multiply both sides by 10. So let's just times both sides by 10. So left-hand side equation becomes 10x, and the right side equation, since it's a decimal equation, so basically what's going to happen is this decimal's going to move over. So it's just going to move over by one place because you multiply by a 10. So it would be 5.55555, and so on. There you go. You're done with your first step. So again, so you need to identify the place value when it starts repeating. So once you figure out the place value, just multiply by that both sides, and that would be your first step. Let me show you one more example. Let's say I have 1.06464 ... First step, I'll set this equal to x. Next, let's figure out the repeating pattern. So I see 0, 6, 4, 6. So it means right after this place or this number, it repeats itself. So what is the place value for that last number? So it's the 1000th place. So since it's the 1000th place, so I would multiply both sides by 1000. So now the left side becomes 1000x, and the right side, since you're multiplying by 1000, so means this decimal would move to right by 3 places. 1, 2, and 3. So my equation on the right side would be 1064 decimal 6464, and so on. Here you go. I have one more example to show you. So let's pick a different color. So let's pick purple this time. Okay, now I have 2.343434, and so on. First step, I hope you know it's setting up equal to x. Next step, figure out the repeating pattern. So I see 3434. Okay, so after 4, which is at 100th place, it repeats itself. So what would you multiply by? So I would multiply by 100 both sides. So once you do that, If I multiply both sides by 100, so my equation would be 100x. How many times do you move the decimals? It's 100 place, so I would move it over by 2 places. 1 and 2, so my equation would be 2, 3, 4, decimal, 3, 4, and dot, dot, dot. So that's how you need to answer your Part A assignment. So Part A of your assignment is this. Like you just have the decimal originally, you just have to make it into an equation. Okay, now for Part B, that's just the next step for this one. So it means you already have the equation multiplied by x. So let me show you how. Okay, so this is how you would deal with Part B of your homework assignment. So basically you'll see 2 equations. Let me just say this is your first equation here. This is second equation. And you know what? Technically the second equation, basically the bottom equation, which is something like this. That's actually nothing else. It's just the decimal place we start off with, isn't it? Part A, you had something like this. We set it equal to x. That's what it is. So the bottom equation is nothing else. It's what you started off with. Okay, what about the top equation? So again, just follow the strategy I showed you before. Let's figure out the repeating pattern. So I see 1, 5, 1, 5. Okay, so up to 100th place, it repeats, right? So I would multiply both sides by 100. If I multiply by 100, isn't it? The top equation would become 100x. Move the decimal over, isn't it? It would become 15. 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5. Here you go. So that's how they have those 2 equations. Because after getting the second equation, what we do is we just subtract. So that's what they want you to do next, okay? Let me erase this part because I don't want you to see this part anymore. Okay, once you have those equations, what do we do next? So you just have to subtract these. Oops, change it to pen and subtract. Okay, help me out. 100x minus 1x would be 99x on this side. So my bad, I'm sorry. So 5 minus 5, 0, 1 minus 0, 5, 5, 0, 1, 1, 0, 5, 5, 0, 0, and 5 and 1. See, that's the reason we have to look at the repeating pattern, and based off the place value, you need to multiply by 10th to some power, right? Okay, see, now it looks pretty simple. I have 99x. Let me rewrite it because zeros at the end, it means nothing. I can still write it as 15. Okay, lastly, what would you do to solve for x? So I would isolate x. So 99 is getting multiplied by that. So 99 is getting multiplied. So let's do its inverse operation. So I would divide by 99 both sides. So 99 gets canceled out with this, so x is equal to 15 over 99. Here you go. So we started off with the decimal, now we make it into a fraction. Yep, we got it there. Perfect. One more example. So this time I'm just going to start out with the equation. We already have the equation set it up for us. So like I have 1000x for my first equation. And for my second equation, it's 10x, and it's 2.7474. Subtract. So 1000 minus 10x would be 990x. So on this side, 0, 0, 0, 0, so it would be 272. So let me just rewrite this. This becomes 272. Finally, how would you get rid of 990, which is getting multiplied by x? So I would divide by 990 both sides. Almost there. And x is equal to 272 over 990. Yep, that's pretty much all. So this is how we change repeating decimals to fraction. So this is all. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.